Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today, Buster Mabrey, Executive Director of the New Mexico High School Coaches Association. And Buster, it's been a while, man.
It has been a while, but thanks for having me.
I mean, I tell you what, we've had COVID and things that just got but things.
Yeah, we've had COVID, that's for sure, Steve.
And I tell you, you've changed some things up since COVID, and I tell you what, exciting things. So, used to you had the All-Star games during the summer when all the coaches did. Now it's talk about that a little bit.
Well, we're in our second year of doing it, and we used to have North-South. I mean, we started North-South, and
I got to play in that one.
yeah, I mean, in the '70s, I'm sure. In 1941, we started North-South, and going into COVID, we'd had several issues, in the last 7-8 years, from heavy representation in the North and not as many schools in the South. We had a hard time with the summertime. I mean, things have changed, and kids do different things in the summertime. They all have schedules and agendas. They want to go off to college. They want to go off to the military. There's just things they need to get going on after they graduate from high school. So we were having issues filling the teams, and we just got to talking about it. And we decided to go ahead and move the games to the middle of the year. And the board of directors for the New Mexico Activities Association and coaches in general across the state agreed with that and allowed us to do it. And so we created the red versus green games, in which we basically try to make these teams as equal as possible without any type of geographical selection which is attributed to it. And it was real successful last year. It was a lot of fun. Kids got to play against their own teammates. Kids got to play against their own coaches, and they were in shape and they were much better athletes. And so that's kind of the changes we've made. It's been real positive.
Going back to the change, I mean, and I kind of watched it evolve, for the last 10 or 12 years. It was basically, a lot of the players didn't want to play in the summer because they were going to college, afraid they were going. I mean, there was a lot lot of legitimate reasons.
Yeah, legitimate,
not because they didn't want to do it. It's just because of their, they were starting training camp the next day, and also the schools moved up.
Yes, sir. That's exactly. So summer changed. I mean, these kids are active. I mean, all across the state of New Mexico, all these seniors have a lot going on in their lives, and they're ready for the next steps and have a lot of plans after graduation. And it just got to be where the summertime was a difficult place to host these games for graduating seniors. And so, it was really exciting. People have really adopted it, at least last year, and we're thinking that's going to be the case this year, and so we're really excited about continuing the process. One of the things we do now, Steve, is we rank the athletes across the state. Like you take quarterbacks, for example, it'll be 1 through 4. So only 4 quarterbacks are going to make the big school team, and only 4 quarterbacks are going to make the small schools, and there's 2 quarterbacks per team, and that's it. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch these coaches, make those decisions. And when we select the teams,
that vote does count, huh?
That vote does count. They got to raise their hand in our room when it's seating and selection stuff. We don't know what happens. Yeah.
I know you enjoy that, but I'm just saying it's interesting, and I've learned a lot from you from watching when you did the rankings of the teams and stuff, and how people would vote and change down in the districts, and how it affected things. But I just sitting in and I could just every coach and which they should, deservedly should. They want their players on that team.
Yeah, well, I did a presentation at the coaches clinic this year, and I mean, the one elephant in the room with all of these things is I love my kids and my team more than I love your kids and your team. And so there's some subjectivity sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. The good thing about coaches is that when they go into a room, oftentimes people say, oh, it's political, it's this, it's that. You know what? It's good people in a room making decisions, and they have to voice their opinion and they have to vote, and in the end the majority wins. And I actually admire them. I really do. I admire how these guys are able to come together and select these teams, and I appreciate the work they do in doing that. And there's always someone outside the line, and that's tough. And I don't know if there's ever the right answers or the wrong answers, but I sure admire these guys for doing the job.
Well, I got it. That brings up when I was coaching at San Diego. You know, at the end of the year, you had to vote for all districts. You had to go into that room, and there's, and I can't remember the names, but there's 2 kids for Santa Fe was in our district, and they had career games against us. Okay, we came. I mean, you know, I think one game one kid hits the last second shot or whatever, and so like. You know, then you have the Metro people, you know, the coaches around there that are, you know, my golf buddies and all this. And, and I got, you know, I voted them like high because they
did well against you.
You did against me, and
that's right.
Against them, they didn't. You know, other teams, they probably weren't all district, but against me, they were all district.
Well, exactly, and that's one of the reasons why, like when we do all state, there's a lot of coaches that nominate too many kids. And all those kids they nominate are great kids. I mean, they're great kids, and they've worked with them for years. And the elephant in the room is they love those kids, and they want to give them that recognition. But sometimes that hurts your best athletes because, like you just said, sometimes you're going to vote for the kid that had a great game against you.
Well, I was just trying to be.
That's exactly
right. It was
right.
Santa Fe, and I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, I wasn't prepared for them. They would just they came in and then I looked at their stats against other teams and
they weren't quite the same. No, it's a difficult process, and that's the reason why all these conversations are had. And I can say I admire the process. I mean, it gets negative on social media, and unfortunately so. And I get phone calls, and I'm sure people have their grievances, or maybe even be right a few times. But I do admire those coaches getting in a room and choosing those teams.
We're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk no more about the New Mexico High School Coaches Association.
Set up. Rain almost gets the kill out of it, and it goes in just over the net. Couldn't high point that ball. Pius with some real estate. Montoya, there she goes. She's going to get a shot on the goal. Montoya, it's good. First goal of the game is the senior, Natasha Montoya, for her 20th goal of the season. Wrestle for the ball, no signal, and Wallen comes away with an interception for Nathaniel Wallen.
Pushed over. Meyer finds it. Baker. Here's Vance with viciousness.
Good save by Ruiz. Good save by Aldo. Trinity Carpenter finishes the sack. So the Huskies take second to 125 to 17. Looking for the bomb. A little bit of separation. It's under throw. He catches it. Oh, what a
26-25, and that's an ace. And that's set number 3 going to Siebel at 27-25. Stella Parker, she pushes it forward. Myers there, Baker, Vance, done. Vance with the victory shot, and Rio Rancho wins 3-2.
And Pascal, ring, set, bell. Elliott is in for the touchdown. Wow, is he special. Glad you came around. That is complete, and then a great move, and he is in. Touchdown, Aiden Carniel.
favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest here is Buster Mabrey, Executive Director of New Mexico High School Coaches Association. And, we're talking about all-star events and how it's evolved and changed over your tenure. And something new this weekend.
Yeah, we got coming up this weekend. We're doing cross country all stars for the first time, and I'm excited about that. And along with the red versus green all star cross country race, we're having a fun run, and we've invited the top 50 underclassmen across New Mexico, and both boys and girls, and they're going to race. And just for
Where are they
fun,
going to race at?
It's going to be at Cleveland High School. The first race is going to kick off at 9:30 a.m. Saturday, November 12th. And the fun run is at 9:30. The actual races for the red and the green are going to go off at 10:30 and 11. And we're excited about it. I mean, kids across country, within cross country, are appreciative of the opportunity to have, all-star competition just like the rest of those sports. And then at the same time, we'll be doing soccer this weekend. It'll be our second year doing soccer, and we're at St. Pius High School on Saturday, November 12th. And those games are starting at 12 and 2 o'clock. And the coaches, we got some great coaches. In the big school, we got Laney Kolick from Albuquerque Academy, and we got Tommy Smith from Sandia Prep. And on the girls' side, we got Connie Lamone.
State championships.
Yeah, well, there's 2 state championships there.
Right.
Do you remember Connie Lamone?
I do.
She was at Cibola as a basketball player. I remember at New Mexico State. She's a girls soccer coach down at Oregon Mountain. So she's coaching on the girls along with Matt Westerland from Sandia Prep, who's a state champion. So we have some outstanding coaches in soccer, and we're going to have great kids, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And what's really nice about it, Steve, last year in soccer, they both ended in shootouts because the teams are so balanced. Because that's really the goal, is to put a red and green team together that is as equitable, as equal as we can make it. And so the competition's really good.
Well, how much practice time do they get? Do they come in? Do they get one day, or do they?
They're all stars. They don't need practice. They don't know.
Practice is overrated.
Practice is overrated. Practice.
Practice.
Well, they come in and practice is really about getting to know each other and
Right.
building some relationships and hanging out with coaches. But they'll get a couple hours on Friday afternoon, and they'll get a good solid hour on Friday afternoon, and a good hour on Saturday morning, and then they play the game. And we send those kids out to eat at night to really nice restaurants, and they get to have a team bonding experience. And so I don't know about a lot of practice, but they're the best in the state,
Well, you said it earlier. One thing is they're in condition.
They're in condition, yeah.
Okay, so that's a big liability thing for anybody. Is they're coming in top condition, and so I know when I played in the North-South in my day a few years back. Okay,
yes, sir.
that conditioning was a big thing. I came. It was all summer, and we had it. We came. I remember one of the players, Norm Casey, came in. He just got it in from Hawaii.
Yeah.
So he just came.
Probably hadn't picked up a basketball in a month and a half. No, one of the things that came about in the volleyball game last year that was kind of an observation from a good volleyball coach is that they had good contact. Like they were in shape, but their skill was also in shape. So they had great contact on the ball, and their timing on the ball was great. And the competition has been supreme compared to where it was. And it's very difficult to make the all-star teams. I don't know a lot of people know this, but it's probably more difficult to be chosen as an all-star than it is to be chosen as an all-state athlete. And so the kids are fantastic athletes, and they're at the top of their game. So yeah, it's fun to watch.
Well, what I've noticed in the history of this All-Star game is as the game starts, it's like, everybody's friendly, but then when that
it's going well. They're athletes.
no, then it becomes players that if there's a Division I athlete that's on the team and they want to be able to say, and they didn't get a scholarship, there's that attitude going on that these guys, I may not be playing the next 4 years, but today I'm going to show you that I can play with you right now.
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, this weekend I was talking to Tommy Smith, one of the coaches, and he's from Sandia Prep, and I mean, no one's ever going to accuse Tommy Smith of not being a competitor. I mean, he truly is a fantastic competitor, great coach, top-of-the-line soccer guy. And he was like, oh, so we're just going to create relationships. And I go, yeah, just create some relationships, coach, have a good time. He goes, well, until the game starts. He goes, and then I'm going to want to win. I go, well, go win that thing. And that's exactly what you're speaking of, so you're 100% right.
No, and then you see unbelievable plays. I mean, we covered these games and we watched them, and you're sitting there, and a lot of times sitting up doing the game, you're like, did I just see what this happened?
Yeah.
And the reason I bring up practices is because of their skill level. They've been playing all year long. They don't have a lot of time to gel with these teams, but it's amazing with just being competitive how they gel so quick and find the open man. And then you'll see dunks, and you'll see behind the pass. In volleyball, you'll see rallies that may go on for a long time. It's just amazing to see.
Yeah, and you know what? Something else that I've heard coaches talk about is the language and the understanding of the game. Like, you don't have to spend time explaining the game of soccer or the game of football. These athletes just pick up on it because they are all-stars. And I think that's one of the things that allows this limited practice to really play out okay, is because they understand the game and they understand how to play the game.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk more about the New Mexico high school basketball.
Close enough, man.
Oh, close enough. I thought I was going to get butchered, but I finally got butchered. Here we go.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hey, welcome back, Steve Davis Show. We got Buster Mabrey, Executive Director, New Mexico High School Association. And Buster, you got this week, and go over that. Give us times again on what's happening.
Yeah, we have soccer this weekend, November 12th at St. Pius, 12 and 2. We have cross country this weekend, November 12th at Cleveland High School. And those races are going to be at 10 through 11 in the morning pretty much. And then next weekend, we're going to choose volleyball on Sunday. And then next weekend will be November 18th and 19th. We will have volleyball, and the games will be at West Mesa on Saturday, November 19th at 12 and 2. And then on Thanksgiving weekend, that Sunday, we will choose our football teams, and we're going to have that game on December 3rd at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. And you talking about, I've been down there already a couple of times working with their community in Artesia, and they've really, have welcomed us with open arms. And that stadium, I mean, I don't care how many times you go to it, it's just a beautiful thing to walk into. And we're going to have a lot of kids across our state get to play in that stadium on December 3rd. And we're excited about that. And so that game will be coming up around the corner. And it's 2 games. It's 6-man through 3A is one grouping. And then 4, 5, and 6A is a big school grouping. And it's a lot of fun. And we'll put our best football players in the state of New Mexico in the Bulldog Bowl on December 3rd.
Price, purchase tickets?
Tickets are always $10 a piece. And that pretty much is elementary and above. Below elementary, get them free. And usually we have cash only. We're still old school. Just bring the cash and we'll give you a ticket for $10 and you can get into the ball game and watch New Mexico's best.
I tell you, you just flashbacks when you talked about Artesia Bulldogs. When I was playing, in my heyday when I was playing basketball, Artesia was playing Clovis and made Clovis look kind of bad a few years ago.
They would today too, Steve. I mean, I love Clovis. Well, I really don't love the Clovis Wildcats.
Don't go there.
I'm from Hobbs. We don't like Clovis. Just put it out there and everywhere. But Artesia would probably whip up on them pretty good today too, this year. That's just Artesia. I mean, it's City of Champions.
But back to the facilities, and I never played football, but I got to run track. And that was my heyday of going to Artesia and being in that facility and to be able just to run the track in the facility and the way it was built. And that was a few years back. That was 1974. Okay. And it was a state of the art then. And then I think Gary Tripp and I went down like maybe 8-9 years ago when they built the press box and it showed me the whole when we walked through it. But anyway, what you talk about New Mexico, there's not any nicer facilities in the country than that.
Well, I mean, there might be bigger facilities possibly, but as far as how nice it is and how well they take care of that place, and they just put all new turf inside there and along the bowl, the walls of the bowl, and it's a fantastic place, but it's in a fantastic community. I mean, Cooper Henderson is class act, top of the line, and Artesia, New Mexico, Artesia High School has always been proactive, a proponent, and one of the biggest reasons for the success of the New Mexico High School Coaches Association. And I'm talking about from the very beginning. I mean, Artesia High School is it's a special place, and the way they take care of their kids and their facilities is outstanding. And I'm excited about going down there. I'm excited about having that game.
And I think everybody is excited just to be able to play. And then I think the biggest thing that I hear you say is just the community itself, how they're embracing this to be here and they're getting behind it, and that's got to be exciting for you.
It is exciting, and just their appreciation of New Mexico kids. I mean, Michael Mondragon, he's on our board of directors. He's their basketball coach. He's been a fireball in helping us be better. And he's very important proponent of getting it down there. And so we're excited about that. And we're excited about all of our all-star games, our red versus green. And I'm excited about football playoffs this weekend a little bit too, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a lot of things going on, but your all-stars don't end there. We have basketball.
We're going to Gallup this year. We're going to go to Gallup in basketball. We're going to do that. I hope I get my dates right, but I almost want to say it's March 2021 and or March 1920, 2023. So we'll have those in Gallup. That'll be exciting. And then we'll finish up the year with softball and baseball, and we're still working on dates and locations for that.
I'll tell you what, that's exciting for them. How many athletes will that exist of? How many people will, if you get off the top of your head, I'm not.
Well, we were at 580 last year, and I think when we add cross country this year, we're going to be 600. So we're around 600 all-star athletes in total, and all state goes into the thousands that we recognize.
Wow. And I tell you, then how are the coaches picked?
All different ways. Over the years, we've had a system based on longevity and coaching that game. We've been doing a few different things this year. It's based on who's available and who would like to coach. We've also been using some legendary people that we bring back and coach that game. Most of the time, coaches just need to let us know they want to coach, and we'll find the right place and right time to get them in the game.
Okay, again, this weekend, dates again for this weekend.
This weekend is November 12th, and that's going to be soccer and cross country.
And the following week's volleyball.
November 19th, the games will be at West Mesa, volleyball at 12 and 2 o'clock. And then December 3rd will be football at the Bulldog Bowl. March 20th, I believe, 21st, will be in Gallup, New Mexico for basketball.
Well, Buster, hey, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show.
All right.
And let's see.
But I still want to ask you one question.
Sure, you got 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Volcano Hobbs. Football.
Okay.
Hobbs, guarantee it.